Good morning. I'm Susan, President of Profit Finder Pro Software. Welcome to episode 4 of Morning Minutes. Today we'll talk about measuring closing ratios. Closing ratios have been a general standard of measuring salesperson effectiveness, but as you have heard in prior episodes, it does not tell the full story. A person can have a high close rate and still not be making you money, or in fact can even be losing money. That's why we first look at sales acquisition cost when measuring salesperson effectiveness, so that we can compare the money spent on advertising versus the revenues brought in. That being said, closing ratios have a good purpose for us also. We typically look at closing ratios in 2 ways. First one, individual salesperson closing ratio and volume per advertising source, and overall from all advertising sources. If you want to focus on sales performance, it's important to know who's closing leads and at what rate and volume from each individual advertising source, regardless of whether it's paid or unpaid advertising. Number 2, their closing ratio overall in comparison to industry averages, company standards, and goals, both the individual's goals and company goals. What is each salesperson's overall closing ratio, all lead sources combined, and how does that compare to an acceptable closing ratio to expect from your salespeople? What are the industry standards? How do your salespeople compare to each other? What are your own expectations and how realistic are they? Sometimes we only compare closing ratios among our own sales team, but it's good to consider industry standards too. For one thing, it could tell you that you're pricing competitively if your people are right along the same line. Or, on the other hand, if your closing ratio is too high, it can indicate that you're leaving money on the table. And it might be time to increase your prices. There's a lot of information that can be taken in from knowing the other standards, but the main thing is start tracking it so that you can see where you are as a company and as individuals, and then you can start adjusting as needed. We always say winners know their numbers. See you on episode 5.